Greetings and welcome back. It's part 2 of the long overdue DVD updates, today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so continuing on with our bargain bin treasures. Picked up one that I've been looking for a while because I love the show and I always loved this movie. I know a lot of people didn't like it because the humor was so dark, but I like dark humor. I'm of course talking about Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy. This was the one and only theatrical film produced by the Kids in the Hall. Love the show, as I say, and I really liked this movie. A lot of people didn't like it because it basically, the subject matter is definitely a little darker than what you would think would be in sort of what you would think would be a light comedy movie like this. But you know, that's the Kids in the Hall for you. I mean, they never shied away from taboo subject matter before. So basically, this makes fun of depressed people. Depression is, of course, a horrible blight on society, and this is sort of their take on it. Essentially, this pharmaceutical company comes up with a wonder drug that cures depression, but at quite a price. So, and out of that, hilarity ensues. Nothing's more hilarious than a bunch of depressed people walking around moping, right? Yeah. Anyway, I really like it because it's very dark. It's definitely not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But I love it. It's great stuff. Annetta had never seen it either. She's seen some of the show because we have the first 2 seasons on DVD. And yeah. Speaking of which, that's a set I really need to complete. Now, the next one we picked up, The Saint with Val Kilmer. This is one of the before everything became a remake, there was a handful that came out around the same time. I mean, there was sort of a spate of classic characters being updated for the big screen. We had things like The Shadow and The Phantom and The Saint that all came out around the same time. This was definitely one of the better ones. It really showcases Val Kilmer's versatility, I think. I think he's a very underrated actor, especially in this day and age. At the time, though, that he did this, he was quite a hot commodity, and this was a great vehicle for him because it really, you know, it's a fun action adventure mystery story, and it gives him a showcase where you can show off all the different types of characters he plays. Because if you look at the back, you can see a little bit about the different characters that he plays over the course of it. Essentially, the Saint is like a master of disguise, somewhat chameleonic, and you know, it's fun, good stuff. So The Saint. If you like Val Kilmer, or if you like the old Roger Moore series, or just looking for something light and fun, check out The Saint. It's good stuff. And for $5 you can't go wrong. Now this one. This one I used to watch, I saw quite a number of times when I was a kid, and it always freaked me out. Great movie. This is one that was from the, what was it, early 80s? It's Disney. Of course, Disney never puts the dates on their things, which drives me crazy. They want it to be timeless, I guess. Anyway, I am, of course, talking about Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes. What a great find. I wasn't even 100% sure this was on DVD, but apparently it's been released twice. There was an older release from '99, which I think was a 4x3 letterbox one. This is the actual anamorphic widescreen version, and it has the full screen. I think it's a double-sided. Oh, it's not a double-sided. Weird. That's interesting. So it has the full screen. Yeah, it's single-sided. It has the full screen and the widescreen on a single-sided disc. And this was actually new. This was still in the original wrapper, and it was like $5. So, can't go wrong there. Anyway, it's great stuff. This particular period for Disney is one of my favorite Disney eras. It's shortly after Walt Disney died, and Disney was kind of scrambling to, I guess, you know, Disney, the company, was kind of scrambling to figure out what they were going to do and how they were going to, you know, keep going in the absence of their founder. So they during the early 80s, they did a lot of very dark experimental stuff. This was one of them. Some other examples of that would be The Black Hole, which was a very dark sci-fi story, and also Dragon Slayer, which they actually co-produced with Paramount, which is a very dark fantasy story with some of the finest dragon effects I've ever seen. Anyway, Something Wicked This Way Comes is sort of the age-old tale of the mysterious carnival that comes to town and enraptures the citizens of this small town, and, well, the carnival isn't all that it seems to be, and dark things happen. In fact, Jonathan Pryce plays Mr. Dark, who is the I don't know, what is it, ringmaster guy? I don't know. Anyway, the head guy at the carnival. So, great stuff. Loved that movie as a kid. Haven't watched it again since we bought it, but really looking forward to it because I remember really enjoying that. And then picked a couple up that I have not seen yet, and I figured, hey, for $5 a pop, you can't go wrong. It'd probably be cheaper than renting them. Picked up, don't kill me for this, I got it because I like Jim Carrey, okay? The Number 23. That's right. I know. Yes, it's a movie from the guy who ruined Batman, Joel Schumacher. Interesting director in that I find he's very hit and miss. Some of his stuff is really good, some of his stuff isn't. For example, I really liked Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Great, great, fun, dark, twisted movie. So, kind of hoping The Number 23 will be the same sort of thing, dark, twisted. But the main reason I wanted to see it was for Jim Carrey, because I've always thought that he had it in him to play some very dark and disturbing characters. And even if the movie isn't spectacular, I'm sure that we'll enjoy his performance in it at least. And I hope that he gets to do more stuff, you know, more characters like this, because I think he's very good at that. So anyway, looking forward to seeing that one. And, oh man, this one I've been wanting to see for a very long time. I've always been a fan of vampire movies, except Twilight. I refuse to see Twilight. I'm sorry. Yeah, the sun makes vampires sparkle right before they erupt in flames! God. What the hell is that all about? That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. You gotta still obey the same basic rules. Well, if you're gonna kick at old school vampire stories, you can't go wrong with Salem's Lot. This is the kind of vampire story I like, because it's just a good old-fashioned story about vampires. So, have not watched it yet, have a passing familiarity with the story, and, you know, it's Stephen King, and how can you go wrong with Stephen King, right? Well, actually, yeah, you can go wrong with Stephen King. Some of his movies have really stunk, but this one's apparently really good. So this is the original 3-hour miniseries version. It's not the cut-down movie version. So yeah, $5, 3 hours of viewing, and there's jack shit for features. Oh, it's got the international theatrical trailer. Woohoo! Yeah, anyway, looking forward to this. Of course, it's one of those annoying Warner Brothers snapper cases, which thankfully they don't use anymore, but there's lots of old discs floating around that do. And yeah. Anyway, Salem's Lot. Looking forward to that. Then, that was at Audio Video Replay. Then at Zeller's I picked up a couple of good ones. This one was $3. $3! You can't get much cheaper than that. And I'd seen some segments of this on YouTube before, and I thought it was just hilarious. So I thought, hey, for $3, you can't go wrong. I am, of course, talking about, I mean, what else would I be talking about? The Best of Triumph, the Insult Comic Dog. From Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Great stuff. Annette and I watched this last night and just laughed our asses off. There's a Canadian puppet character that's very similar to this that I think actually came first, called Ed the Sock. So Triumph is basically a cigar-chomping dog puppet. Ed the Sock is a cigar-chomping sock puppet. And both of them are basically insult comics that just kind of razz whoever they're interviewing. Anyway, love them both. Whether or not one is a ripoff of the other, I don't know. I don't really care because they're both hilarious. We had a great time with this. The best segment, my favorite segment, was Attack of the Nerds, which was the where Tribe went to the fans lining up for Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and basically just gave them hell the whole time. Great stuff, really funny. So anyway, for $3 you can't go wrong. The actual best of video is only 61 minutes, but there's an hour and a half of extras on here, so you actually get about 2.5 hours of stuff on here. Not too shabby for $3. Can't complain. And it's funny as hell, if you like that sort of humor. Then we have, finally, this will be the end of the updates. The next two will be reviews, because I want to go a little more in depth with them. Then we have what is undoubtedly one of the best shows ever to come out of Canadian television, in my not-so-humble opinion. I'm, of course, talking about The Newsroom. This is a great show. The first season of this originally was shown in 1996. And if you like shows like The Larry Sanders Show or The Office, you might want to check out The Newsroom, because The Newsroom is very much the same kind of thing. Sort of a pseudo-mock documentary style, fly-on-the-wall kind of presentation. Very different kind of comedy from what you normally see in sitcoms. But if you've seen The Office and The Larry Sanders Show, then you'll be familiar with this style of humor. The thing I like about it, again, is it's very dark, very dark humor, which is great. I just love it. So anyway, it's basically about all the goings-on in a broadcast newsroom, behind the scenes, and that sort of thing. Very, very funny, very smart, and very dark, and very Canadian. So anyway, if you're looking for something along the same lines, it's really good. Check out The Newsroom. This is season 1. Originally, this was all they did, because it actually was canceled after the first season. But then they brought it back for a TV movie, and then did 2 more seasons. So, in the bargain bins, I found season 1 and season 3 for $5 a piece. And I like season 1 so much, I bought it 2 more times. Actually, I bought it 3 more times, but I gave one of them away already. So, I still have 3 copies here. I'm going to be giving these away as gifts, because I love it so much that I just want to share the joy with everybody. I figured, hey, for $5 a pop, you can't go wrong, right? Cheap birthday gifts. Yeah, so that's it for the updates. I'll just quickly show you what else I got. If you watch the 5 Awesome Studs channel, you'll already know about these. And if you don't watch it, you should at least watch me over there, because you're missing out on a lot of Zara Nizrak action if you only watch me here. Okay, so we have X-Men Volumes 1 and 2. I got the slipcase with this one, which is great. I wasn't sure there was a slipcase for this one. I just found out like 2 days ago that there is. I'm not going to repurchase it just to get the slipcase. I don't care that much. But there you go. So yes, before anybody asks me anymore, I have in fact got X-Men Volumes 1 and 2. And I'll be doing an in-depth review on these probably right after this video. So there you go. And I also got, I'm not going to show you what I paid for it though, Star Trek, the original series, first season, on Blu-ray. This set is fantastic, and I'm going to review the hell out of it in a couple of videos' time. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, that brings us up to date. Those are all the updates. That's everything we got over the past month. Whoo! Bargain bin madness. Yeah, I still have not picked up Season 7 of the original TMNT, although I did hear that Season 8 has already been scheduled, so that's good to hear. So only 2 more seasons to go, and then the 3 missing episodes, and then the entire series will be out on DVD. How cool is that? Alrighty, so that's it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.